Good evening, and welcome to Creative Broadcasting, the station of unlimited possibilities, presents Creating Your Seat at the Table with your host, Ashley Little, as she welcomes her guest to the table.
Welcome to Creating Your Seat at the Table. I am your host, Ashley Little. A little bit about myself: corporate professional by day, entrepreneur by night, CEO and founder of Ashley Little Enterprises, LLC, owner and creator of Creative Broadcasting, and co-founder and owner of Talk Radio and TV Network, LLP. Tonight we have the amazing DeKesha Williams. A little bit about her. DeKesha, known as the virtual COO, business strategist, and leadership development trainer, is the CEO of Visions Enterprise. Visions Enterprise helps clients with business expansion and infrastructure development. Ms. Williams leveraged over 20 years of experience in retail management to help other entrepreneurs develop practical business strategies that include solutions to increase profitability, strategies to increase foot traffic, brand development, and more. In addition to her many years of experience, Ms. Williams holds a BA degree in fashion merchandising and an MBA degree in finance. As a single mom of two, oftentimes it was hard to dress up and travel to all of the conferences happening across the country. I would always feel guilty about leaving my kids at home, especially when trying to find someone to stay home with them. They love being at home, and I would feel guilty about removing them from their element. I would always refer back to the fact that I left corporate America in 2011 to be present for my children. To jump on planes, trains, and travel across the country defeated the purpose of staying home to be present with my kids. Then I found this software that allowed me to teach, train, and facilitate from the comfort of my own home. At Visions Consulting, we help small business owners who struggle with growing their list, building a tribe, and making money online using webinars to launch their signature offer to the masses. Welcome to the table, the amazing DeKesha Williams.
Oh, thank you. Good. I was going to say good morning. Hello.
Yes, Black CEO.
I have no idea what time of the day it is anywhere.
Yes.
How are you?
Yes. I am amazing. How are you?
I am wonderful. Thank you so much for this opportunity to be here at the table.
Yes. Thank you for coming to the table so we can hear all this wisdom and knowledge that you're going to share with our listeners that you share every morning on your other show, Black CEO.
That's right. You got it. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to share.
Awesome. So you have an amazing bio. So would you please tell us more about your entrepreneur journey?
Sure. Like a little bit, I think you touched a little bit on it in the bio, but August 24th, 2011, I put in my notice. I gave my pink slip, actually, and I went on leave of absence. I'm still on leave of absence, hashtag longest leave ever, but it was it was probably like 7.5, 8 years ago. My daughter looked at me and she told me, "Mommy, you missed the first week of school 3 years in a row." And I was like, "No, I did not." She said, "Mommy, no, seriously, you missed the first week of school 3 years in a row." And all of us know that have children. Kids only like school twice a year. It's the first week of school and what? The last week of school.
Yeah.
Always excited about the first week of school and the last week of school. So you mean to tell me I missed one of those two opportunities? So it was in that moment that I knew I had to make some type of adjustment where I would not miss out on those opportunities again. And so here we are 7.5 years later of this entrepreneurial journey. And I laugh because in the last 7.5 years, I was able to see, if not one, both of them get on and off the bus for 1,288 days and still counting.
Awesome. So you know what? It all paid off, right? Those sacrifices made sense.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So I tell my daughter, I said, you guys had it. I was like, you guys had it good. It's like, I was here when you guys got home from school, and I was here when you guys were, leaving for school. She was like, yeah, you were here all the time.
Yes. So they wanted you there. Yes. Now they're saying you're overly doing it.
Right, exactly. I was like, oh, my bad.
Yes. So you have over 20 years of experience in retail management to help other entrepreneurs develop practical business strategies. Will you please share with our listeners more about your awesome, company and your experience in that?
Well, I actually started as an assistant manager at Paramount Kings Dominion. So a lot of people are familiar with the amusement park. And so one of my first managerial jobs was at the amusement park. And so I did that for quite a while. And it was funny because I was always managing and running someone else's company. As I started to gain my experience, as I started to become more seasoned, I would run a $1 million store. I would run a $2 million, $2.5 million, $3 million, $4 million. And it was like, why am I running someone else's company when I could be doing the same thing for myself? And so I took the operational skill set and started to help other online entrepreneurs run their business, and I was running their business from the comfort of my own home. So, and that's where the name of the virtual COO was born, was because I was actually the chief operations officer for several companies, but I was doing it from the comfort of my own home.
I love that. And you hit on so many nuggets, DeKesha, because I think, people sometimes get confused because they're still at their 9 to 5 and they're not utilizing it like they should, because basically what you did was you was at the table and you took what you learned at the table and built your own business, right? You took those $1 million ideas that they used and you utilized to build your own. So can you touch on that a little bit more? Because I think people get confused and they're so ready to jump, and that's fine with jumping, but you have to be calculated with it too.
Well, and I think for me it was luckily when I jumped, I still had a net. So it wasn't like I was just jumping out with no net. Like I wasn't that bold. I was bold, but I wasn't that bold, right? I did have a strategy in place. But when you think about running a $2 million business or $2.5 million business on punching a time clock, I had 2 senior assistant managers, an assistant manager, manager in training, anywhere from 8 to 15 part-time employees. And I'm doing scheduling, human resources, operations, marketing. And so I'm solely responsible for all aspects of this business. So it was so easy to transfer those skill sets into starting and growing a business, because as what I call a chief of everything, before you build your team, you're responsible for, the marketing of your company. You're responsible for creating the products or services in your company. You are responsible for the operational aspects of your company, and everything falls on your shoulders until you start to delegate and build your personal team. So those skill sets, that was probably one of the best things or the best experiences that I could have had to be able to transfer into the entrepreneurial space.
Yes, I love that. So that's for all of our listeners that are listening, that are still doing both. Utilize it, learn, take what you learned at the boardroom and utilize it to build your business, I love that.
Absolutely. I would highly recommend, we call them dualpreneurs or parallelpreneurs. There is absolutely nothing wrong with keeping your 9 to 5 and building a strong foundation in your business before you decide to take the leap. There's nothing out there. There is no documents, binders, books, manuals that say that you have to leave your 9 to 5, in order to run a successful business. I recommend 150% to build your business and let the 9 to 5 be your investor.
I love it. Yes, I agree with that totally, because I'm doing both myself, so I agree with that. So
it's the best move.
Yes, tell us about Visons Consulting. As we're talking about taking that move and how you're talking to us about being a dualpreneur, let's talk about Visons Consulting.
So, it's really it's interesting because a lot of people don't know that when I launched into the entrepreneurial space, I actually started with an online shoe company called SassyShoeGallery.com back in 2010. And I wrote a business plan, received funding, $30,000 in funding, bought $15,000 in shoes. And I kind of did it to prove to myself that, I could start and launch a business. And I realized that, I just did not want to have 150 pair of shoes in the back of my truck driving around the city of Richmond. But people started to come to me and ask me, like, how did you do that? How did you build it? How did you grow it? How did you develop the plan? How did you, create this website? And what did you need? And so that's how I started consulting. It was at that time that Visions Consulting started to help people start their business and grow their business. And one of the things that, I share in my bio is that when I left corporate America, my son was 5 and my daughter was 11. He was going into kindergarten. She was going into 6th grade. And those were very crucial time frames in their lives. And so when I walked away from corporate America, I wasn't in a position where I could, promote myself as a speaker and travel the world to this speaking gig and this conference and speaking here, 2 or 3 times out of the month. That just wasn't feasible for me, and it defeated the purpose of me walking away from corporate America. So I started studying, and I am an avid studier. I am always learning, I am always training, and I'm always feeding myself. So for 4.5 years, I studied how to use webinars to build your business. And if there's a webinar company that came out in the last 4.5, 5 years, I've probably used it and I've probably studied it. And the reason being is because I was able to share my message from the comfort of my home and still be available and be present for my kids, but also still generate revenue in my business.
Amazing. And what are some of, I know you just talked about the services. How can we as listeners, purchase your services, and how can we, people can reach out to you if they're interested in, getting involved as well?
Absolutely. Well, I am always on social media, and you guys can definitely reach out to me at facebook.com/DeKesha. That's DEKESHA. If you're interested in using webinars to grow your business, to build your list, to build your tribe, we do have a program. It's the Webinar Success Blueprint, and you can log on to www.thewebinarsuccessblueprint.com. And, one of the things is the reason why I'm so passionate about webinars, the webinar itself is just a technology. But the difference between utilizing a webinar platform and any other social media platform is that there's a low barrier to entry with social media platforms like YouTube, Facebook Live, and Instagram TV. Like anyone can actually pop on and tune in, right? When you're having a webinar, you're inviting someone into a personal space. They have to register in order to participate and tune in. So they're giving their first name, their last name, their email address. And we always require the phone number because we have a strategy that we use with the phone number. So if you have less than 1,000 people on your list, you need to be using webinars to build your list. If you are struggling and you don't have a circle or a tribe of followers or true fans, that is one of the best ways to build your list and build your tribe. And if you position your product right, you can make money every single time that you host a webinar. That's why I'm very passionate about that technology.
Which, we was just about to touch on that. What is some more advice you would give to business owners who are struggling with growing their list? Because I know you just touched on it a little bit, but what are some other ways they can utilize it as well in regarding to webinars?
Well, one of the things that a lot of people say is, when you're building a sales funnel, right, and you're nurturing the relationship of your prospect, they state that you have to build a relationship. You have to touch that person, 7 times before they are going to purchase. So webinars can also be used as a lead magnet or an entry point into your ecosystem. Again, you can host a webinar. You don't necessarily have to sell from that webinar. You can actually invite them to have a conversation with you at the end. So you're doing a lot of training, and then you're inviting them to have a conversation at the end so you can continue to nurture that relationship. But at the end of the day, they are still giving you their information, like their first name and their last name. So one of the things that I would recommend is that for someone that's really, really in the lead generation, or you are struggling to get in front of new people or you're not generating enough sales, I would highly recommend that you host a webinar every single week for at least 12 weeks minimum until you hit your revenue goal. One of the things that we did was we helped clients launch a new program or product, right? And it's all about having 5-figure launches 4 times a year. So we followed that same blueprint, and in 9 months generated over $70,000. Actually, now it's $77,000 in a 9-month period.
Wow.
With one program. One program will change your life if you let it.
Yes. So for our listeners that are listening, definitely if you're trying to continue to grow your business, definitely reach out to DeKesha and learn how to do these webinars, because I think a lot of us as entrepreneurs leave some of that on the table, and we're leaving a lot of money on the table. Could you kind of talk about that a little bit more, DeKesha? Expand on that?
No, you're absolutely, you made a valid point. You're absolutely right, because one of the things that I find is that when I first kind of stepped out and branched or started to build my company back out, I started working with speakers, like keynote speakers. I mean, these are speakers that are getting paid $10,000, $15,000 for speaking gigs, which is a pretty decent, so they actually have a speaker-based business model. But here's the thing. There is a downtime or drought season for speakers, unless it really doesn't matter what area of expertise that you're in. Towards the end of the year, speaking, that industry has a dry time. They are really busy in the spring. They can be busy in the summer with colleges and graduations. But my thing is, when you're not on a stage collecting a $10,000 check, what are you doing in your business? You need to generate passive income in your business, or you're going to be always looking for the next speaking opportunity. And when that drought time comes, what do you have to rely on? You're going to have to save come first quarter, second quarter, and third quarter, because the fourth quarter you're not going to be traveling as much. That is a perfect opportunity to start using webinars in your business. Once you perfect it, automate it so it's generating passive income in your business, regardless whether you are busy or it's a downtime for you.
Yes, because that is so important. So for all our listeners, please make sure you're listening to that and start incorporating webinars into your business so you can make sure you're not leaving money on the table. So we know that our circle is important when getting to the next level, DeKesha. So why is your circle so important when we're trying to continue to rise up? So can you kind of, talk about that and why that's so important?
Well, there's two pieces to that, right? And so you have your tribe, and your tribe is your fans, your followers who will support you no matter what, regardless, right? You can put out a $3,000 program. You can put out a $7 program. Someone in your tribe is going to purchase that particular program, regardless of the price point. And so it's important to build your circle, and it's important to build your tribe. Now, when you are elevating yourself in your business, there's a different circle. So this is different from your tribe of fans and followers. This is your circle of influence, right? And the circle of 5, right? They say you're average of the 5 people that you keep, around you. And I truly believe that, because I'll tell you this. My business bestie, right? So we have virtual cubicles. And so every morning we arrive in our virtual cubicle around the same time. They are in Illinois. No, where is she? She is in Indiana. She's in Indiana. I'm in Virginia, and we are virtual besties, right? And our business has grown at the same pace, and we've taken off and grown. We doubled our revenue in maybe the last 12 months together. Now we've let certain individuals go, but we invest in ourselves. We share. We share information. We share strategies. We mastermind. We bring other individuals who are on the same level and looking to go in the same direction with us to mastermind. If you are not in a position where you are trying to move forward, you are not eligible. Let me say that word again. You are not eligible to sit at the table with us. And you have the right to qualify those individuals that come to the table with you because, number one, you don't want any negativity around you when you are trying to grow your business and when you're trying to get to the next level. And I'm going to tell you, to be honest with you, it doesn't matter if you made $25,000 in your business, if you made $50,000, $75,000, $100,000, $250,000 in your business. At every level, there's going to be different obstacles, and it requires a different mindset. So you have to be careful of the company you keep, and you have to be careful of the people that you trust around you as you elevate. A to the man.
A to the man. Okay, everything you said. Everything you said. I hope everybody was listening.
To the man.
Because
right, y'all might as well pass the plate, because I'm telling you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, I don't even have anything else to say. That's the whole show.
That right there. I'm telling you.
Yes.
It's so powerful. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. It is powerful. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, I can't even stress, seriously, I can't stress to the listeners, of choosing wisely who you share your ideas, your concepts. Just to have a level of discernment when you are looking to turn your idea into, into income, basically. Just use a level of discernment, and because, and this is not a negative thing. It's okay, but everyone that's around you is not for you. And this is not a negative thing, but it's just the truth. It's the truth.
And you have to master the art of moving in silence. I think if more people mastered that,
you get
a lot more done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That is important.
How did you create your seat at the table, DeKesha? I asked all of my guests this. How did you create your seat at the table? And you just spoke about
You ready?
Table. Yeah, I'm ready.
You ready? So, and I have this on my phone, and I tell all my students this. You have to be so good that they can't ignore you. I'm going to say that again. You have to be so good that they just can't ignore you. And you said it. You got to move in silence. You don't need to tell everybody what you're doing because they're going to take notice. They're going to see the moves that you're making. They're going to see the progression that you've had in your business. And I have people that say it to me all the time. Like, I see you doing your thing. Like, to me, I'm out here just trying to serve my clients and generate revenue at the same time, right? As Joe McNeil would say, is make $1 and a difference at the same time.
Right.
But when you do that, here's the thing about it. People are paying attention, regardless whether they say it, regardless whether they contact you, regardless whether they like or comment on your social media. Let me tell you something. The most powerful people are not even commenting on your stuff. But they're watching. And those are the ones that's going to pick up the phone, that's going to invite you to the table, to their table. And that's exactly what has been happening. So the answer to the question that you're asking me is a very good question. How did you get your seat at the table? You have to be so good at what it is that you're doing and the impact that you're making in this world, in your space, in your industry, that they just can't ignore you. Like, they just cannot. It's like you're not going to not see me out here.
Okay?
Right.
I mean, everything you said was just, oh my God, we could have finished there too, because you know what? And I think people fail to realize that they get so caught up in the likes and the comments you're right. The powerful people not liking the comment, they actually calling you, inviting you to the table.
And absolutely, because they're watching, and they're watching. They're watching your consistency. They're watching how you show up. They're watching how you progress, and they're watching your results.
That result, the result. You just spoke something. The result.
Oh yeah, and they're watching your impact and your influence as well. Like, because at this point in time in the world that we live in, your impact and your influence is powerful. Like, if you are an influencer, it carries more weight. And so it's gonna impact your tribe, it's gonna impact your circle, and it's gonna impact your income. And so, one of the things that I credit myself is because I operate with a level of integrity. And my tribe, my circle knows that. And so, if I say that I'm going to deliver something, I'm going to deliver it. As a matter of fact, we're going to try to over-deliver.
Right.
Because I want to see my tribe win.
And you just spoke on something about, wanting to see your tribe win, because a lot of people talk about collaboration, but when you get into some of the deals, it don't look like collaboration. Can we talk about that? Because we all, can you speak on that? Because we want to make sure everybody know that everybody can win.
Oh, my goodness. I think I said something the other day. I was like, let me explain to you what collaboration means, because I don't think that everybody understands that collaborate. So we're gonna clear this right here. We're gonna clear this
clear
right
on
here.
up.
So when we collaborate, right? I bring something to the table. You bring something to the table, and we both walk away with abundance. Okay. So collaboration is not you're coming to the table and I'm walking away empty-handed, or vice versa. And the thing about it is, the number one thing that I learned is that if you come to the table with a scarcity mindset, what does that mean? That means that I can only bring so much because the other person is going to take. That's a scarcity mindset. But if I come to the table, we both come to the table, and we both come to eat, there's enough out there for all of us to live in abundance. And that's one of the things that I had to understand. And I'll tell you a quick story. And this was a lesson for me, because the greats, the Tony Robbins, the Russell Brunsons, the Dean, I think his last name is Graziano, and they just did a huge collaboration. And so it's all based off of affiliate marketing. How do you think they generated $22 million? It was based off of affiliate marketing. And so for me, there was a time when I didn't want to promote someone else's product to my tribe because of the fear that I would lose out on potential revenue because I'm promoting someone else's. But that's a scarcity mindset. Instead of understanding that I'm helping my tribe grow by giving them something that complements what I service, because ultimately if we collaborate, that same person is going to share what I do with their tribe. Oops,
come on.
You forgot about that part.
Forgot. Because you know what? People are so intimidated that, they're trying to outshine each other. That's why. We all can win.
Exactly. And so, and that's the thing people don't understand, and this is what I'm seeing from the space that we work in, is that you build your own platform, and when you build your own platform, you're actually going to hit a ceiling. And in order for you to break that ceiling, you have to start collaborating. You have to start doing joint ventures, because you have to step into a new sandbox. You have to be positioned in front of a new audience. How are you going to get in front of a new audience without locking arms with somebody else?
Okay.
That's how they make these millions of dollars. They collaborate.
Right. Effective collaboration, right? Effective collaboration.
I'm just here to educate.
You just here to educate? You here to tell the truth?
I'm just here to get my truth. That's it.
Just speak your truth.
Just tell the truth.
I love it, because I'm glad you really went in depth on that, because that's so important. People got to understand that we all can win, and make sure you collaborate with the right people. Make sure
absolutely.
you're doing it with the right people.
And it'll definitely, you lock arms with the right people, and like you said, it's all about who you decide to bring to your table. You lock arms with the right people, and you will succeed. Like, it doesn't matter. You may not see it in that moment. You may not feel like you are progressing in that moment. But it's funny because I can compare it to being in flight. Because when you are on an airplane and when you look out the window, it seems as if you are standing still when literally you are traveling hundreds of miles per minute, per hour, okay, across whether it's the country, the state, the world. And so sometimes in entrepreneurship, it feels like you are traveling or you're standing still when in all actuality, you're traveling hundreds of miles, but you just don't feel like it.
Right.
You just don't feel like it. So keep going, even if you don't feel like it.
Right. Continue to serve, right? Serve.
Absolutely.
Servant leader.
And I wake up every morning and I say, and my daughter's home from school, so I wake up every morning and I say, you know, my intention today is to serve my tribe and to be compensated for doing so.
Okay.
Because the number one thing I want to do is to serve. And that's what they say. They say don't chase the money. The money will find you. Don't chase the money. So the number one thing I come to do is to serve my tribe, and I'll be compensated for doing so.
Yep. That is a fact. Yes, it is. And we know with every successful person, you know, we all have a journey. So what did failure teach you?
Well, they always say, Dr. Willard Johnson says a setback is a setup for a comeback.
Right.
And so there's so many lessons in obstacles and adversity. There are patient lessons, to teach you patience. There are lessons to teach you how to be selective and use the level of discernment. It teaches you integrity. It teaches, there's so many lessons that you can learn from just having adversity in entrepreneurship. Like I said, sometimes that you may not get one particular client, or a client may tell you no, and you might get really frustrated because that client has told you no, but you don't even realize that you just received a blessing because it probably was more of a headache than it was the money, because I have learned that all money is not good money.
Right.
All money is not good money. So, don't necessarily take a no as a rejection. Take it as a thank you. And, even something as small as somebody opting out of your list, say thank you, right? And let me tell you why you say thank you. Because you have to pay for every person that's on your list. If you have an email marketing system, whether it's Infusionsoft, Entreport, Active Campaign, when you hit a certain level or certain capacity, you have to pay for every name that's on your list, okay? So when they opt out, thank you, because you just saved me money, especially if you're not even opening my emails and you're not my ideal client. So you can't look at people exiting out of your space as a negative. You got to look at that as a positive and say thank you. And what's next?
Right. And be okay. And I love that you said that, because that's what people got to remember. Be okay when they say no. Just keep going. Okay, no. All right.
That means greater is on the way.
Bye. Yeah.
Let me tell you, my mother taught me when I was younger, right? Everybody screen clean, right? Because you got to make room.
You got to make room
for the new. You got to make room for the new. Out with the old, in with the new. It's the exact same thing. So when a contract ends or a client decides that they're going to move on for whatever reason, I mean, it may not be that you've done something wrong. It's just that time. It's that time for them to be out with the old and in with the new, because you got to make room for a $50,000 contract when you got a negative Nancy paying $200 a month. Okay.
Right. And look, when even when it's in relationships, business partners, business deals, when they walk away, let them go. Bye.
You making room for the new. You are making room for the new. Your breakthrough. You are on the other side of your breakthrough. I'm telling you.
So what did success teach you, DeKesha?
Be humble. Like,
yeah.
Be grateful for the journey, because I look back and I think 6 or 7 years ago, there was a time where I was not receiving any income at all. And sometimes I have to think back and I'm like, excuse me, but how in the hell did I make it? Like, I was not getting a paycheck. And I have 2 kids, a mortgage, a car note. So I never, ever forget how it felt, because I never want to experience it again. So even when we have 5-figure months, 6-figure years, I will never forget the month that I didn't have anything.
I love that. Because staying humble is part of it. That's part of the journey. You got to stay humble, right? You have to.
Absolutely.
Because life will humble you.
Yes, it will knock you down.
Right.
And another thing is, when you are on that journey, turn around and bring somebody with you.
Right. DeKesha, you done said the whole. You know what? You done ended the show 3-4 times.
A whole lot.
Look, a true successful person is reaching back and pulling forward, helping the next person.
Yes. Bring somebody with you. Like, somebody has to help you along the way, so it's your responsibility to turn around and help somebody else along the way.
Right. You know what? This has been an awesome show. So can you tell us, DeKesha, because you already done killed quarter 1, we're in quarter 2 now. What does DeKesha have planned for the rest of 2019? What can we expect? I know you probably not going to tell everything, because I know we move in silence, but whatever you can share.
Well, I will tell you this. We are, I literally just finished the edits today. We had the proof copy of my first book.
Awesome.
40 ways to generate revenue in business. So within the next 24 to 48 hours, I will publish my first book. It will be available on my site. It will be available on Amazon and pretty much all the other sites online. But, yes, so it took me 4.5 years to publish my first book, 40 Ways to Generate Revenue in Business. So you best believe that greater is coming for the rest of 2019. But that's the first thing that you'll see in the next 7 days.
Amazing. Well, super congratulations on your first book. And I want listeners to go purchase her book, follow her, and get her book, because we know she knows what she's talking about. She's not just talking. She actually practices what she preaches, and she got the receipts. So please go buy her book, okay? And as well as follow her, because this has been an amazing show, DeKesha. I mean, all the wisdom and knowledge that you have shared it's been amazing.
Thank you. As long as, at the end of the day, if one person can walk away and can say that they took something away from this, then I've done my due diligence. I've done my job.
Yes, and I can't wait to see all the great things that God is going to continue to do for you this year. I'm consistently following you and watching you. You're always releasing something, so I can't wait to continue to see what else you're going to do the rest of this year, because I know it's going to be powerful.
Thank you.
Yes. So you tell the listeners how they can follow the amazing DeKesha Williams, how we can follow and continue to support you.
Absolutely. So do me a favor. Reach out to me, facebook.com/DeKesha. If you want to know all things revenue, we do have a Profit Producers Facebook group, www.profitproducersmovement.com. That's www.profitproducermovement.com. But again, I am VE_Kesha on all things social media. And you know what? Subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. We always try to put out some good content on how to generate revenue, how to have a 5-figure product launch, and using webinars in your business to build your list, build your tribe, and make more money.
Love it. So follow and support her. DeKesha, I would like to thank you so much for taking the time out of your very busy schedule to come to the table today, and I can't wait to bring you back on the show.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity. I always love to serve. And, I will say this, be passionate, be purposeful, but more importantly, be profitable.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Have a great one.
You too. So I would like to give a special thanks to Tammy Collins-Marquis and John Schamberger. I would also like to give a special thanks to author Kimberly McLemore. And I would like to give a special thanks to my intern, Sarah, from Tennessee State University, who's on the call tonight, as well as my intern, Tyler, from Tennessee State University as well. You all may follow me on Facebook at Ashley Little and on Instagram at _Ashley A. Little. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Creating Your Seat at the Table, where Ashley speaks with corporate professionals, celebrities, entrepreneurs, authors, and speakers who are transitioning or have transitioned to entrepreneurship.